It was the summer of 1985 when a young girl named Emily returned with her parents to visit her grandmother's house in the countryside. The nights there were long and eerily quiet, the fields stretching endlessly under the pale silver glow of the moon. That evening, Emily's mother, Sarah, was walking home alone. It was nearly 10:30, and the night was unusually bright, the full moon casting sharp shadows across the fields. As she crossed the wide expanse of rice paddies, Sarah noticed a woman bent low, moving strangely in the distance. At first glance, the figure looked harmless, just another villager, perhaps searching for something dropped among the rows. But as Sarah grew closer, unease crept over her. She called out, her voice carried by the night air. "Are you all right? Do you need help?" The woman did not answer. She didn't even move, didn't turn her head, didn't acknowledge Sarah at all. She just crouched there, back bent, hair falling in heavy strands over her face. The silence was suffocating. Sarah slowed, unsettled, then hurried away. But something compelled her to glance back. The woman was gone, vanished. That night was the first Emily would ever spend at her grandmother's house, and it was also the first night terror began to crawl into their lives. Around 2 a.m., Emily's father, Michael, jolted awake, gasping for breath. His chest felt pinned by invisible hands. He tried to scream, but no sound came. His arms and legs were frozen in place. The crushing weight grew heavier, his vision blurred, until he felt he would suffocate. Then, as suddenly as it came, it lifted. Terrified, Michael shook Sarah awake. I couldn't breathe. Something was pressing me down. I swear something's in this house." They lit incense at the small family altar, Sarah whispering desperate prayers to her late father. Strangely, after the smoke curled upward, Michael was able to sleep again. But peace lasted only one night. On the second night, as the moon hung low over the fields, the haunting returned. This time, both Sarah and Michael heard it, the faint sound of a baby crying. At first, they dismissed it as a stray cat, but the wails grew louder, more human, piercing the stillness of midnight. Every night, the cries returned. Every night, they grew harder to bear. By the third night, exhaustion turned to dread. Michael, anger boiling over, grabbed a stick and stormed into the backyard. He was determined to find the source of the cries and put an end to the torment. The yard was cloaked in shadow, the branches of the old jackfruit tree swaying gently. Suddenly, he froze. Perched high among the branches was a figure cloaked in white. A woman, her belly grotesquely swollen, distended with a child not yet born. Her face was pale, eyes hollow, mouth twisted as she crooned a lullaby. In her arms there was no baby, only emptiness, only grief. Her body swayed back and forth, as though rocking something that wasn't there. The tree creaked under her weight, and from her throat came a sound. Not a lullaby, not a cry, but something in between. "Aussi," something that chilled Michael's blood. He dropped his stick and fled, stumbling into the house, face ashen, breath ragged. "Sarah!" he gasped. "She's on the tree. A woman, pregnant, but not human." The next morning, Sarah told her grandmother, but the old woman shook her head firmly. "Nonsense! Just dreams, just fear playing tricks." But Michael knew what he saw. By the fourth night, neither of them dared to sleep. The crying returned, louder, echoing from every corner of the yard. Shadows flickered along the walls. Emily, though still a child, could feel the presence, a heaviness pressing down on the house, watching, waiting. Finally, the family sent for a priest. When he arrived, he did not even step inside. Standing at the gate, he pointed at Sarah, his face grim. "You met her, didn't you? A woman on the field a few nights ago." Sarah's heart stopped. She remembered the crouched figure that ignored her call. The priest nodded. "That was no villager. That was the spirit of a woman who died in childbirth, her unborn twins still trapped within her womb. She wanders in, latching onto the living. And you crossed her path." Sarah trembled. "Then why hasn't—" The priest's eyes softened. "Protect you, the spirits of this home, and the Buddha's. But she lingers. She sits upon the the children she never held. The air grew colder. That evening, the priest performed a ritual. Bells rang, and prayers rolled through the house. Outside, the cries rose once more, high, desperate, and unbearable. Then, slowly, they faded. The priest announced softly, "She has been released. The spirit has gone to seek rebirth. She will trouble you no more." From that night on, silence returned. The cries were gone, the weight lifted, the shadows no longer pressed against the walls. But for Sarah and Michael, the memory lingered. Whenever they passed the fields at night, they could never forget the figure beneath the moon, nor the cries of children never born. And Emily, though just a girl then, would grow up to tell the tale. Even now, decades later, she recalls the haunting of that house. The jackfruit tree still stands, but no one dares to linger beneath its branches after dark. For some say, when the moon is full and the fields glow silver, you can still hear it. The soft, broken lullaby of a mother who never was. That is the story of the haunted field, the curse of the pregnant spirit. If you found this terrifying tale compelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to True Ghost Encounters for more real hauntings and legends from around the world. Your support keeps these stories alive.